Gosh, this is gonna be a long pause for you guys now. Hello, my name is Kaitlyn, and this is another one of my videos where I give advice to busy writers. Well, for this video, the truth is that life exists, it happens, there's nothing we can do to stop it, which means we have to get stuff done, and a whole bunch of obstacles get thrown our way, and a bunch of things we don't expect get thrown our way, and our life could change like that, or it could go downhill or uphill. The point in this channel is to help moms, people who work full-time jobs, full-time students, people who typically don't have time to write a book, but who want to write a book. They can look at this channel as reference to how they can get things done and how they can shuffle things around and both live their life comfortably and be a writer, which has been done on multiple occasions before. A bunch of famous authors. You started out just like with a full-time job or being a full-time student, or even both, while being a parent. They've had to juggle all three, so it is possible. Now, before I go into depth with things, you have to think about how important is it to you to get this book done. Okay, some books are very time sensitive to where the kind of culture they're going through, it might be outdated pretty soon, so you're kind of in a rush. How important is it to you to get it done? If it's not important at all, well then you're not going to do these steps I'm about to give you, or these tips that I'm about to give you. The big thing that people say is that they don't have time. And I guess when you're busy, it's hard to see if you do have time because you're already jumbled, you're already exhausted at the end of the day. You definitely don't want to sit down and work your mind. I promise you that if you do these tips, you will find time. Everybody has these same 24 hours, including the authors who are now incredibly successful at it, who were self-published, by the way, and had a full-time job, were going to school full-time, and was parenting multiple little children running around and clawing at them 24/7. And still, they managed to do it. So it is possible, but it does, at the same time, take some sacrifice. That's the big thing. If it's not important to you, you won't make these sacrifices. First, something that kind of goes into why is it important to you, why are you writing the book in the first place? This will motivate you both when you have self-doubt and when you don't have time. Why are you writing this book in the first place? What does it mean to you? Something you are going to have to, everybody is going to have to do, and they can do good on this whether they're a writer or not, is you're going to have to make sacrifices, like I mentioned before. You know, the last hour before you go to bed, or maybe even 2 or 3, while you're eating dinner, you're watching Netflix, or you're watching TV, or you're watching YouTube videos. Just keep watching mine, okay? You're going to have to give some of this up. I'm not saying give it all up, but you might have to shave off a few minutes, or maybe even an hour, to do what you have to do. As a mom, I'm going to guess you know how to do this, considering you probably can't watch a show straight through without one of your kids asking for something, unless they are sleeping. This also includes that if you are a morning person, you might have to get up an hour early, or if you work better at night, you might have to stay up an hour later, which means you are sacrificing your sleep, which is a precious thing, and it is one of my favorite things in the world, and I have sacrificed sleep, a lot of it, to write my book that I did. A big thing you are going to have to do with any big project, this includes novels, this includes anything else, you're going to have to plan. You are going to have to plan. I cannot stress that enough, okay? If you have a bunch of things that are going on, you're going to have to put in this little anchor at a time, even if it is 15 minutes where I'm going to write at this time. You need to pick which time. You need to pick which time, your place, and what helps me is deadlines. And that's because I'm a procrastinator. I work my best when I procrastinate. I literally get things done faster and better. It's like unbelievable. I have I'm a full-time student, I have postponed my essays due till like the last 15 minutes. It's pretty bad. I do not recommend doing that, but for some reason, I get those essays done before the 15-minute deadline, and they're legit. I'm one of the best essay writers in my class, and I procrastinate to the very last second, literally. This doesn't work for everybody. Sometimes deadlines increases their stress. If that's the case, don't put a deadline. You need to do what works best for you. When you do end up planning, like I said, you need to plan up a place, any time. You need to stick with it. If you let yourself scramble, then the whole planning thing is going out the window and you're not going to get this book done. When you do stick with it, if it's hard to stick with it, or when you do finally reach a goal or your deadline, you should reward yourself. This includes an extra hour of Netflix. Take a day off of writing. I love writing. I don't know if I could survive a day off, but for me, my reward is this gigantic bowl of ice cream that is incredibly unhealthy for you. I love ice cream, and it does motivate me. And the thing with sticking with your plan is you have to. There's something that also motivated me, even though I have not gotten to the stage of life to where I've had to have a full-time job yet, but I do have to go to school. And if I ever felt like not doing it, like when I'm tired or exhausted, I have to get up at 6:30 a.m. to go to school after I've been up till 10 working on my books. I'm exhausted. I don't know if I have time to eat breakfast. I'm rushing all this stuff. And, if I decided to just skip school that day because I didn't feel like doing it, or I decided not to turn something in because I didn't feel like doing it, or same thing with work, if you stopped working because you didn't feel like working that day, you'd get fired. Okay? You'd end up being a dropout out of school. You'd get really bad grades. You would get fired if you didn't do the things you were supposed to do. So when it comes to planning your writing, it's part of your day. It needs to be embedded to it. And this is where it goes to how important is this novel to you, because if it is important, you are willing to make these sacrifices. You are willing to treat it like you're willing to have it embedded in, like, I'm going to get this goal done, whether anybody likes it or not. Now, this is really hard sometimes. You can't always plan everything ahead. Like, things happen. Life happens. But my response to that is you plan your kids' sports games. You plan your business meetings. You plan when you have to go work with a group. You plan all these different things, just put writing in there. I suggest it's the same time and same place. Also, a little tip, especially for moms or people who are working with people on the phone, is I work best, and this works for me too, I work best when the world stops, when the world is gone. This is either super early in the morning or really late at night, when everybody's asleep. Your kids are asleep. Your coworkers or your clients, they're asleep. Your partners are asleep. You can't get anything done with your work or your kids while they're sleeping. So this is where you can do those 15, 30, maybe an hour of writing, whether sometimes you have to get up an hour earlier, which I can't do. I love my sleep. I can't even hardly get up at the time I do now. Or you can stay up a little later when nothing's going to bother you. The biggest thing is you have to keep writing. You also need to have very little distractions when you write, or you're not going to get it done. This is a huge problem when it comes to social media, because when you are self-published, you have to market all your books. And so you have to constantly be on different social media types. This includes Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Goodreads. Oh my gosh, Goodreads. And YouTube. You need to shut all of it off. You need to shut your ringer off. That way there are no distractions, or your brain is going to find a way to get out of it if it doesn't feel like it. You need to sit down and do it anyway. A professional writer sits down and writes even when they are uninspired. Now, Not every successful writer is considered professional because of that definition, but some writers only write when they're inspired, and they can sell amazing books. But professional writers treat it like a job. They sit down and they write, even when they have writer's block. They just keep going. They budge right through it. You just don't take breaks, and you don't have any distractions. It is natural for the human to try to put things off. This can go with anything in life. This can go with as simply as, I've heard the metaphor of taking out the trash. You walk past it, and you feel like just not doing it, and you put it off, and sometimes you even forget to take it out to the trash day. Why don't you just do it? You know, it's something small that starts to train your body. Writing a novel is a very daunting thing, okay? It could possibly take up years of your life doing, especially if you are not a full-time author. Full-time authors sometimes take years to publish their novels because they do a whole bunch of stuff into it. While people who have jobs and who have lives outside of their house, that will take longer. So all of this compiled into one video, one very long video apparently. This will help, I'm wanting it to help you kind of plan yourself ahead. This will also help me in figuring out what else I need to do, because some of the things I mentioned in this video, I do not do myself, and as I was doing my research for this video, I realized I should do. So this should help both of us here, since I'm talking to you. Thanks for watching, and please check out the rest of my stuff. The thing is if you, I gotta gather my words, Dad. Sorry. Let's hang out on the internet, okay? I have a blog on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and of course there's here on YouTube. All those links should be in the description. Please hit that subscribe button and hit the thumbs up, because that would absolutely make my day. Okay. If I am any help to you at all, then please go ahead and check out the rest of my stuff. I mean, that would also make me happy. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again. I want to have you watch my videos again, so please come back.